To the Middle East now, where Arab and Muslim leaders are meeting in Saudi Arabia. They're discussing the wars in Gaza and Lebanon. The summit in Riyadh will focus on what's being described as Israel's ongoing aggression in the region, and comes as Israeli strikes on northern Lebanon and Gaza have killed dozens of people, including several children, according to local officials there. The new Israeli defense minister says his country is close to defeating Hezbollah. Israel Katz saying the killing of the group's leader Hassan Nasrallah in September was a crowning achievement, and all that is left to do is to finish the job. Our security correspondent Frank Gardner is following the meeting in Riyadh and tells us why it's so significant.
This is the second so-called emergency Arab and Islamic summit to discuss what the organisers are calling the Israeli aggression against the people of Gaza and Lebanon. It's exactly a year since the last one held here in Riyadh. And of course, since then, the conflict in the region has grown into more than one conflict. Israel is now at war with not just Hamas in Gaza, but Hezbollah in Lebanon, and exchanging blows with the Houthis in Yemen, and intermittently with Iran as well. So this conference is aiming to try and do two things. They're trying to get a ceasefire in both Lebanon and Gaza, and also to try and find or push forward plans for a Palestinian state. I think reaching some kind of consensus isn't going to be that easy. Usually the final communique is always a little bit of a fudge, because you've got to try and match everybody's aspirations, and not everybody agrees here. You've got countries that have got full diplomatic relations with Israel, like the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan, Jordan, Egypt. And then you've got countries like Iran, Algeria, and others, which are very much opposed to Israel and don't see really the point in countries making peace with it if it is waging war on other countries. Overshadowing all of this, of course, is the news that Donald Trump is going to have a second term in the White House. And there's a lot of expectation, hopes, optimism, and trepidation about that. He's a firm friend of Israel. He's thought likely to give Israel a freer hand when it comes to striking Iran if there is further confrontation between those two countries. But he's also a friend of Saudi Arabia. He chose Riyadh as his first overseas visit as president back in 2017. I was here there covering it, and you could see how pleased, how flattered Saudis were by the fact that he chose their capital as his first overseas visit as president. So MBS, that's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of this country, Saudi Arabia, will be, I think, welcoming him as the new leader of the United States and hoping for better relations than the Saudis had with the current incumbent, Joe Biden.
Keeping across the summit happening in Riyadh, we have live pictures coming to us at the moment with the representative from Mauritania speaking. But as Frank was saying, one of the big people attending is Syria's President Bashar al-Assad. He's there at this emergency summit, and his attendance really starting to signal what some are saying is a change in the dynamics in the Middle East. And possibly with the election of Donald Trump as well, it will see the US play a smaller role. Saudi Arabia and Iran also putting their past differences aside to try and strengthen their ties, where we have seen very strong condemnation from the US and Israel in the last 24 hours, again, of Iran. Former President Trump about to be the next president again, always saying that there's going to be a tougher US stance on Iran if he comes to power. So we're keeping across this and looking at the shifting dynamics in the region. We'll be following the summit in Riyadh throughout the day.